Dorothy from Port Washington. Dorothy from Washington.
Dorothy.
That's fine. I'll pronounce my own name, it's okay.
Let's do this. All right, honey, you wanna hit press?
It's on, it's on.
Oh, he has
You
it.
went up to the head.
Honey and all is in there.
Yeah, honey's in there now, great, okay. All right, good evening, welcome to everyone. We'd like to thank you for coming to the candidate forum for District 1 City Council position. Our candidates this evening in alphabetical order are Mr. Jean-Baptiste Carelus and Ms. Dorothy Goosby. Thank you for coming this evening. We're going to have the League of Women Voters from Port Washington be the moderator, and we look forward to Dorothy Sweska doing the moderating this evening. Thank you, ladies.
Thank you, we have you.
Thank you, Ann. I appreciate it. You can hear me. I'll just shout if you can. Normally, at the beginning of a forum like this, we take a few minutes to read the procedures, the rules of engagement that the candidates have agreed to. So bear with me. We'll try to read quickly, but not like the old FedEx commercial. I still want to be intelligible. Okay. So, rule number 1, the moderator will be a member of the League of Women Voters from outside the district. I'm from Port Washington, and I vote there, so I don't vote in District 1. The candidates for the same office will sit in alphabetical order, and they have very graciously cooperated on that rule. Cards will be distributed by volunteers from the League of Women Voters or the sponsoring organization for the public to submit questions for the forum. Cards will be collected and vetted by league members to assure that they are legible, not repetitive, not abusive or partisan. So we want fair questions. Questions must be confined to the issues in the campaign. The questioners should make sure that their questions require 1 minute or less to read. The moderator will rotate the order of speaking for each question. Each candidate will be allowed 2 minutes for an opening statement, and statements can be read. After all candidates have spoken, the moderator will read questions from the cards. That's after opening statements, we'll move to questions. This isn't a debate. The candidates will be given an opportunity to answer each question presented, but after that, there's no back and forth as we dive deeper into the substance of the question. Each candidate will be given 1.5 minutes to answer a question, and there's no rebuttal. A league member will serve as timekeeper, and I understand this evening Tom will be our timekeeper. He'll hold up a sign when 30 seconds remain in the answer period, and again when time is up, although Tom is taking advantage of technology and will give you a tone to signal that your time is up, and we'll hear that tone now. When you hear that, you're allowed to finish your sentence, not your paragraph. Candidates will have 1.5 minutes for a closing statement and will speak in the reverse order of the opening statement. And again, the closing statement can be read. As an aside, we drew cards, and the order for the opening statement is Mr. Carelus first and Ms. Goosby second. We'll reverse that for close. Since the purpose of this meeting is to determine the candidate's views, no substitute speaker will be allowed should a candidate be unable to attend. You are both here, yay. The use of props, charts, or visuals in the distribution of campaign literature is prohibited. Only candidates on the ballot can participate in a candidate forum. The League of Women Voters empty chair policy requires that 2 or more candidates for each race must be present. Issues, not personalities, should be addressed. Candidates cannot save up time during the question period to speak at another time. So if your answer is yes or no, that's still it. No electronic devices, including smartphones, Apple Watches, tablets, or other devices that can send or receive messages are permitted to be used by the candidates during the forum. The question and answer portion of the program will take no longer than 90 minutes. Any record of the debate must be conducted by the League of Women Voters of Central Nassau in coordination with the sponsoring organization, which is the Hempstead Library. In accordance with league policy, candidates, their staff, and guests are not permitted to record the forum in audio and/or video, including cell phone recordings. This measure is taken to ensure that information is not manipulated to create false or misleading impressions or otherwise be edited for campaign purposes. No other recording will be allowed. Our video can be posted, it will be on the school districts, on the library's website, as well as their YouTube channel. League of Women Voters New York State policy on recording and taping states that, quote, only those individuals specifically authorized by the league may record to videotape a candidate event. The League of Women Voters owns the content of the candidate event and may post recordings of it in its entirety on league media. Any use of the authorized recordings requires the advanced approval of the League of Women Voters, except that other local leagues and newspapers are entitled to air portions of this recording. No one is permitted to edit footage for campaign or other purposes. This includes live streaming, and that statement was adopted by the League's state board in August of 2018, so it's a policy that has some legs, I would say. So, with that, we're at the point where our candidates can make their opening statements, and Mr. Carelus will be going first.
Thank you. I just want to thank all of you for being here today, just to get a chance to hear the two of us candidates give you our views of the issues, our views of the district and what we plan on doing. So I'll just start with an introduction. My name is Jean-Baptiste Carelus. I am a husband, father of 3, longtime resident of the town of Hempstead. I'm a graduate of Hempstead High School, class of 1987. I've been in public service, I should say I've been involved in service generally for a very long time. I was a reservist with the Army Corps of Engineers back in 1989 when I joined the reserves. I am now living in West Hempstead, where I serve as a volunteer firefighter and an EMT with the West Hempstead Fire Department. In all of these different roles, I've had an opportunity to connect with many people in the community, and all of these connections have allowed me to, see various moments in everybody's lives. It's, moments of celebration and moments of just pure joy and happiness, but not all of it has been that. Most of those occasions have been great, but there have been moments where, there's true need, an EMS call, a fire call, and that's when service is truly required. And the fire service reminds me of what public service should truly be about. It should be about answering the call, standing with your neighbors, and making sure that the work gets done. That's what I wish to bring to public service. A spirit of collaboration, responsiveness, and a deep commitment to serving every member of our community. And so I welcome all of you once again. Thank you for being here, and welcome your questions. Thank you.
Well, good evening. Good evening. I'm Dorothy Goosby, and I have lived in the village of Hempstead for over 50 years. I am originally from Apalachicola, Florida, and during that time, we didn't have to have anything like we're having now. We're talking, yes.
We can't hear you.
Oh, sorry.
That's not your fault. Thank you.
Is it on? Just,
Yes, it is.
the mic. Okay.
My name is Dorothy Goosby, and I live in the village of Hempstead. I've lived here for more than 50 years. And I am originally from Apalachicola, Florida, which many of you probably never heard of it, but it's a little town in Appalachia, in Florida, that I went to school in, and then I finished from college, from Florida A&M University. I finished from, Temple. I finished from the other school down the street from here, and I have done very well as far as school is concerned, and that's on my own, working myself together to do it, because my parents could not afford it, and I worked for the other students that were there, and I end up here. So I'm very pleased with what I have gone through and pleased with what I'm able to do to help others. I do a lot with children. I've always done that because I have my own kids, and my husband was just right there with me with that. We took care of our kids throughout the schools that are in this district because they weren't getting what they wanted, so we did that. And I work with kids. I bring them in now, and myself, I'm working in town hall. That I am the deputy supervisor, and as such, I bring kids in every summer. They come in, and we have their parents come with them, and so we do a lot with them, which they haven't done before. So there's a lot of things that we do. I also have this, on this coming Saturday, any of you who want to come to town hall, we're gonna have everything we need for women, and we have everything we need for men when it comes to what's going on with this world. We know now that men and women both are having big problems. So I welcome you to come, and that's this coming Saturday, and you'll be welcome. We feed you a little food too, because people help us when they come. So I don't mind. There's a lot of things that I do because I am the town supervisor and such. I have a lot of work that I do, and I'm not speaking up here because you took my time.
All right, well, thank you. We're going to open the question and answer period now, and I have several questions piled up here, but if anything occurs to anyone in the room, please feel free to jot it down and I'll add it to the list. Now, according to the procedures, the questions and answers, the opening question will go first to Mr. Carelus and second to Ms. Goosby, and I will alternate after that. There's a better than even chance I'll forget at some point, so call me out if I do that. So with that, here is the first question. What do you consider to be the most important responsibility of the position of Town of North Hempstead council person?
That's to me.
Mr. Carelus, you're up first.
Yes. So the role of the council person has basically 5 responsibilities. That's to essentially propose, debate, and vote on laws and ordinances. We oversee the budget and spending of the town. We take constituent concerns. We work on economic development as well as supporting public safety. To me, the biggest part of that job is, in fact, the oversight of the budget and spending. Because ultimately, what everyone is truly worried about in terms of affordability, in terms of living standards, is in fact all wrapped up in the budget and the spending. When you approach anyone within the town of Hempstead, all over Long Island, the biggest issues on their mind is in terms of the dollars that they get to keep, the affordability of housing, the affordability of all that they need to truly make a living on Long Island. And so to me, the biggest responsibility of the position is in fact oversight of budget and spending.
Okay. Ms. Goosby.
Okay, I am much involved, very, very much involved in what I do in the town of Hempstead. I became a member of the town as a person who was elected to the first African-American woman who's ever been elected to anything in the town. And I work very hard with everybody because there are many people who never received some of the things that they needed. Actually, African-Americans were not getting what they should have gotten. They did not get money that they should have gotten, and they did not work the way they should have gotten. As a matter of fact, I was someplace last night and this man came up to me and he said, you know, when you came to our department, which I go to my departments because I need to know what's happening. He said, you looked and you saw that we didn't have a decent truck to take everything, pick up garbage and so forth on. They didn't have it. So I did make sure that that happened. I took care of that. I took care of them as far as the kind of clothing that they needed. I also make sure that they get paid money, they weren't paid before, and we make sure that they all get insurance. Now, they did not have insurance of what they needed, so that I've done. Those are some of the things, and that's more than that, because I work day and night, and it's really not an easy task, but I do it because I know it's needed. So that's mainly, some of the things that I do, because people need that help. They don't get it unless I do it. And now that I do it, the others are starting to come in and they realize this is something that we must do in order to be able to take care of our people. And that's very important to me.
Thank you. And you're up first for this one. Housing is a serious issue. What are your plans for increasing housing locally? And I'll adjust this a little bit to say
But I think it's,
increasing affordable housing
Okay.
is probably what's meant.
in the village of Hempstead, it's worse than any place else. We have people who are coming in, there's no place for them to live, and we have some people that are deciding who are in the area that should not do some of the things that they're doing. They are bringing in homes and housing that's not good for people. And for instance, where I live, there is an area that putting something in that does not belong there, it's too big, and it's not good for any of us to be able to live that way. So we have many seniors who are living like that now. They don't get enough of the food that they need. They don't get the water. In the village of Hempstead, we're supposed to be getting water from the government. We're not getting it. It hasn't come in yet. I've asked for that. It hasn't happened. So it's things that people do that I just don't like because they're not taking care of others. You should take care of other people just as you take care of yourself. I feel that way about it. I don't know about anybody else, but that's the way I feel. So it's something that we have to continue to work on. Hopefully, everybody learns to understand how important this is. That's life. We need it. And so it's hard. We had a problem with some areas. If you ever come to Hempstead itself, the village of Hempstead, you'll see the difference between here and other places because they take for themselves and they take for themselves, take care of themselves, but they don't take care of the people that live here.
Okay, Mr. Carelus.
Thank you.
Do you
So-
need me to restate or you're good?
Please restate it.
Okay. What do you consider the most significant issue? Oops, sorry.
No.
Wrong question.
Affordable housing, correct?
I jumped.
Okay.
Sorry. Housing is a serious issue. What are your plans for increasing housing locally? And I modified it to emphasize affordable housing.
Absolutely. You know, affordable housing is, the availability and affordability is a big issue, not just in the town of Hempstead, but in all of Long Island. And as I've been campaigning, I've, realized that there are a few things that can be done. First, starting with the building department. The approval process needs to be streamlined. I know that we've moved to an electronic approval process that has cut time, drastically in terms of days to approval, where it used to be months, now it's much shorter of a period. So once the approval process is reduced, that in essence will cut costs for building, and hopefully that can be passed on to the renters, the homeowners. Number two, we need to focus more on the transit-focused housing that we have been seeing. For example, Heritage is one example, West 130 and other places that are focused near transportation hubs. One other item that I've noticed, the Uniondale Community Land Trust, I know that there's a land trust in Hempstead as well. They do a great job where the market is unable to move a property. Uniondale Land Trust took a property that was empty since '92 and converted it to usable housing for a family. That is due to open in October, I believe.
I'd like to answer that question. I happen to have been on the committee when we first came out with putting in the affordable housing. I'm one of those people who's worked with them to start it. So we have about 3 different homes that we started here within the village of, in Uniondale. And we have one more now that we have finished, we just completed. But it's different because we're not getting the same amount of monies that we need to be able to do this. So it's something that we need to do a better job on it because there's still people who need more you know, there's some houses that are coming up here now within the village of Hempstead, but the amount of money that they're asking for is too much for the people who need it. So you have to look at it in that sense. So I look at things because I go around and I've been here long enough to know that a lot of things that happen that I just don't appreciate and don't like. I think everybody should look out for others, just as they look out for themselves, but many people don't. They don't care about some of the residents that are here, and it's not a good thing. So that, to me, is something that I don't really like.
Okay, now, I think I messed up because I allowed you to rebut.
You asked me to do what?
So, we can do one of two things. You can speak again on the question at hand about housing and affordable housing if you like, or I'll give you a minute to use at your discretion.
No,
Later.
I'll let it stand.
Okay.
What I explained about affordable housing, the need to streamline the approval process and the use of the land trust and transit-focused housing is my answer.
All right, well, I appreciate that. My focus is to make sure that there's a fair exchange of views and everyone has an equal chance to be aware of your views. So, my bad for not being a better hall monitor.
Okay. It's just that I know these things, and I know something that bugs me because I work very hard to try to help people, and I make sure of that, and I do what I need to do.
All right, I'm gonna try and run this forum, okay. So, here's our next question, and Mr. Carelus, you get to answer it first. What do you consider the most significant issue for District Number 1 in the town?
Most significant?
The one that might keep you up at night.
Okay. You know, I have several priorities that I have on my palm card, and the highest on the list, in fact, revolves around the taxes paid by property owners in District 1 and the amount of services we receive in return. And to me, District 1 for a long time has not gotten its fair share of infrastructure investment. It has not gotten its fair share of services. You can look at, you know, many examples of this. You go up Lockwood Street in Roosevelt and the street needs repaving. Now, the town is making progress, but a lot of the progress is late arriving to District 1. If you look at, you know, Uniondale, many of the issues that they've complained about with the fruit vendors on the side of the road. If you look at Roosevelt again, St. Francis Street Park closed, no one knows why. There's many facilities, even within the town, the village of Hempstead, that has, you know, just disappeared and gone away with no explanation of why and how. So to me, the biggest issue is that District 1 has not received its fair share of investment in infrastructure and services for the amount of taxes that comes out of District 1.
All right, thank you. Now, Ms. Goosby, in your view, what is the most significant issue in District 1?
Well, I do know that, there are some, we need to do some few things, but you can't do it all at one time. We do it within the time frame that you can. I know that there are people who are in Uniondale, in the area there around Uniondale, with their trucks and so forth, which we don't like, and we're asking them not to do that. But then you have people here who no longer have food, they don't have a place to live, and they use their little trucks and add the food that they have, which I don't particularly care for, but I know people need that at this particular time. So we've already tried to address that issue to get them out of it. Some of them have stopped and some of them have not. When it comes to St. Francis Street Park, that park has been there for quite some time, it has problems. We've had people that we have really tried to work with who tried to hurt each other. We've had that, I don't guess you're aware of that, but I do, because it's a big area and I go around to these places most of the time. And there are not too many things that I don't know, you know, and we've done a lot too as far as getting things together for the schools and for the kids as far as, you know, what their needs are. It's a heavy area. I have a great staff that works with me, so I know, but I don't know if they do. So we work together and try to keep it together.
All right, Our next question concerns education. And it will go first to you, Ms. Goosby. What are your thoughts regarding the education of our youth, and how will you support youth and education in your next term if you're
I'm doing it
reelected?
now. I have staff here, we do that adventure ourselves. We have kids that come to us every summer. And what we do is we work, what our people do, they take whatever the kids need to the different libraries. And the kids work in the libraries. After that's over, and it's time for them to come back to school, they come to us. They come to us, and we've gotten it so that the parents are interested in that as well. The parents come with their kids. And because we have some people give us little donations, so we'll have some ice cream or something of that nature. And we talk with them about it. We get books that people give us from other places, so they can have that and put their names in it and so forth, so they have something that keeps them going because they know who they are. And then when they come in, I march them in, and we go up to the top, so that there are 6 things. We have 6 seats, and out of those 6 seats, 1 seat I'm in, because with the kid, 3 over here, 3 over there, so they're starting to learn now before they get too bad, so they understand what is important to them. And they come, and the parents it's so much better because the parents come like crazy before they get, and then I have people from other schools outside of my district who ask if they can come, and we allow them to come too. So it works out very well. We do that. Plus we have other problems, with them that we have within our school district. We have kids that come in dancing. We do a lot within the area so that they're very interested, and it keeps them going. So that's important to me because I know how it was when I went to school. So I want to do the different what my kids are doing. So I feel very happy about that.
Okay. Mr. Carelus, would you like me to repeat?
Yes, please.
Okay. What are your thoughts regarding the education of our youth, and how will you support them, and I took that to mean youth and education, in your next term?
Oh, my first time.
Or in your first term, in your term, should you be
Yes.
elected?
So, education is not an area that is dealt with directly by the town of Hempstead Council, but in our capacity as elected officials, we have the ability to collaborate with the local school boards to, find ways to bring opportunity to our kids. One such example I learned about with the local union, Local 66 with Roosevelt, where they have an apprenticeship program where the children learn, carpentry skills, electrical skills, and once they graduate high school, they are entered directly into Local 66 as an apprentice. That's one example. Hempstead Works is another example that could be used to bolster the education and readiness for our kids once they leave high school. I mean, a lot of issues exist around the coming spread of artificial intelligence that we truly need to worry about, and a lot of it could be resolved by simply preparing our kids for more. Every kid should go to college if they want to go to college. That's not what's in the books for every kid. So every kid should be prepared to have a skill, to have an ability by which they can support themselves and thereby support the community. So that's how I plan on, working with the school boards and everyone directly to improve upon what's available.
Thank you. And as they used to say, and now for something completely different. We have a question: how do you plan to address the parking concerns in the community? And Mr. Carelus, you get first crack at this one.
So I laughed because I was on a podcast and we were discussing how the spread of orange cones all over the community and how it's causing fights among neighbors and everything else. To be honest with you, the issue is, it's a matter of courtesy. I understand everyone nowadays has 3-4 cars in their house and their driveways may not fit it, but we either start to enforce the no parking rules after hours where they exist, or if the constituents want the no parking rules after hours, maybe we should oblige them and provide that ability. And the folks in the neighborhood should also, as I started off saying, recognize some courtesy, some neighborliness, that your house is in fact your house. If you have 50 cars, you may not have a place to put it, and you should make some accommodation for your neighbors. But it all starts with enforcing the rules after hours parking where they exist. If the neighborhood wants it, they may request to have those hours enforced in their neighborhood. But short of that, it's a matter of courtesy among neighbors.
All right, thank you. Ms. Goosby, you're up. About
The same
parking.
thing, the parking?
Yes.
Well, fortunately for us, unfortunately for us, we're doing all right, you know, as far as the parking is concerned. Our cars go into our driveways, we can park in front of our homes, but then we have some people who are coming out of other areas that try to come into where we are. But we all work together with that, so we're just doing pretty well with that part of it, thank God. That was good.
All right, thank you. The next question has to do with open land, and of course, it will come to you first, Ms. Goosby. The question is, do you have any plans for the use of open land in your district?
We don't have
I
that.
guess we should start with, is there open land?
There is no open land within my district, it's not there, you know, we need some. And because what happens is, anybody who has something someplace else, they bring it and put it in our land where we are. And we have that problem right now where somebody's bringing stuff in and they're putting in an area where it's not good for the rest of us.
Okay.
Telling you.
All right, Mr. Carelus, would you like to field this question?
Sure.
No pun intended.
Well, assuming open land includes property that has been abandoned by owners, there is quite a bit. The town of Hempstead actually has a policy and an ordinance in place where landowners, homeowners have to provide a set plan as to what sort of remediation, renovation, what it is they are going to do with these properties. Because it not only robs the community of the quality of life, you know, instead of having a beautiful home or a well manicured lawn, it's overgrown, trash starts to accumulate. We need to enforce those ordinances to make sure that homeowners, landowners are fully aware that they have a responsibility. Where there is no homeowner, the town itself should see if it's possible to obtain that land. We just spoke about the availability and affordability of homes. Why, if we have zombie homes in any neighborhood, should we not be able, especially if they're abandoned, to create housing that is available to the broader community? So in terms of empty, available land, either it's going to be remediated and taken care of by the homeowner, or it could be at some point remanded over to the town to provide affordable housing.
Thank you. Okay, I'm looking at my questions here. And I'm gonna pick this one, because it's just so much fun. If you were to be re-elected, what is the first problem you would plan to attack? And that question goes to you, Mr. Carelus, first.
First problem. So, first problem to me is responsiveness to the community. I know it doesn't seem like an actual problem to some, but the biggest issue that I've come across in this campaign season is the lack of response from many of the constituents. We spoke about the fruit trucks on the side of the road. Many of those constituents have requested that these licenses no longer be granted, but they are still being granted, and there's no answer as to why. A lot of the issues revolving around water supply in some of our communities, there's just so many issues that I've come across as I've been running for council person that it's very difficult to narrow it down to one, but if that one thing had to be, it would be the responsiveness to constituents. We truly need to make sure that we are here to serve the constituents and hear their concerns and address their concerns in the most meaningful way possible. And then the 50 million other issues that exist can be attacked.
Thank you. Ms.
Want me to answer
Goosby?
that?
Yes,
I
please.
certainly will be happy to answer that question. I feel differently because within our area, what we do is take care of most of the people. We have so many people that call my office, and my staff, 2 of them are here now. They take care of it, and when that information comes in, they will give it to me, and we go ahead and take care of whatever it is the problem is that the residents have. Because otherwise, you don't know all of it, and I am out in the community a lot. So, and he's talking about, as far as what's happening in my area, I know what's going on. If you've ever a chance to go down to Uniondale, then you'll see. And so, okay, and so in Baldwin, if you get a chance to go see what we have done. They have been renewed. We have some people that work in there now that go in and they put in food for the residents, so sometimes they come in and eat, because they put it there. They said, we have some people that really love to do what they're doing. And since I've been there, there has been a big area that all of it's really been changed, because I believe in that. I know it because I lived it. So I do that, and not only that, I take care of the kids. I didn't ever tell you, but I go to all the schools, and they put things together for me, and I go to the kids, I talk to them, I know what's going on. And the school he's talking about, we did have some people come there to do what he's saying, but it's not been done because we don't have the money for it at this particular time. But there are a lot of things that we do in my area that do not get done, with others, but we do a lot within the village, the town of Hempstead. So, and you can come sometime, I'll be happy to show you around.
Absolutely.
Let me see which one I want to do next. Let's go with this one. The question has to do with, what powers do you, and I'm thinking that's you as a council person, what powers do you have to push landlords to maintain their rental properties?
So we do that.
And that question would go to you first, Ms. Goosby.
Okay, we have someone who is being paid to take care of that. As soon as we find out that something is wrong, he will go and send his people there to see what is needed to take care of those particular properties, and we do that a lot.
Okay, just for my own edification, is that person have an official title?
Oh, yes, he does. He is, well, I don't like to give out all the information, because I
Okay.
try to keep it, so that we
Okay.
don't have the problem. We do have men who work in that. We have different areas, and they'll go, and once we find out about it, we send them an individual to go and take care of it.
So they inspect? and-
Yes, they do.
All right,
Yes.
sorry.
They have to be able to expect, because otherwise they can't work for us. They have a
I
license
just
for
stepped
that.
outside of my moderator
No.
role. Sorry. Apologies for that.
We do, we have good people that work in those areas, so.
Mr. Carelus, would you like to tackle what powers you might have, or what leverage you might have to encourage landlords to maintain their rental properties?
Well, the biggest power or leverage that you have is in fact the building department. The building department handles nuisance property calls, all sorts of issues that may exist. And where there is an issue with a property owner, whether it's blighted, whether there's trash in the front lawn, or whatever the constituency in the neighborhood may find to be an issue, calling the town of Hempstead, and ultimately that responsibility may fall on the building department, because they are in fact in charge of making sure that safety is uppermost, they are in terms of quality of life. They have a role to play in that as well. So ultimately, the building department is the lever that we as council people have to pull. I mean, there's not a whole lot of other areas that is more powerful than the building department. Property owners do not want to see the building department. So in terms of encouraging, nicely, good behavior, the best place to start is the building department.
Thank you.
I don't say anything, but he's wrong. I'm there. This is my 25th year, and I know we have people from each area that
You promised.
Yes, yes,
You
right.
promised. Our next question is, and it will come to you first, Mr. Carelus. What kind of recreation opportunities would you provide for the youth of Hempstead and more specifically District 1?
Actually, when I started running for the Hempstead Town Council, I received an email from a woman who lives in Hempstead actually, and she was, just reminiscing about what used to exist. Percy Jackson. Now that's not a town-run, facility. It's not a village-run facility. It was a building that's privately owned. There used to be a karate school there. There used to be all sorts of community events there that is no longer available. And I won't give the woman's name, but she was, worried about the fact that she has grandkids living in the village of Hempstead, and this facility is gone. If you look at, Commercial Park over by Terrace, that park is not well taken care of. Well, that is a Nassau County property, I believe, in conjunction with the village of Hempstead. But there's a lot of facilities back to St. Francis Street Park again that is no longer available for our kids to recreate. There's a lot that we can do based on what we have now. The available land is there, the available parks are there. It's just, there hasn't been the spirit of collaboration to work with Nassau County, to work with New York State, or to even work with the village of Hempstead to find a way to improve on what's available.
Thank you. Ms. Goosby.
I can't answer that because I know what all of you saying is incorrect. I've lived there for 50 years, and Percy Jackson is like it is right now. I know it's there. I can't do anything with it because we don't have the money. That would come from the county. From the village itself. And as I can say, I don't have water. We don't have water coming from the village as it's supposed to. We have to buy our water. So that we know. I hope.
All right. We're getting towards the end of my pile here. So, I think I'm going to leave it with 2. All right, because one seems a little redundant. This will come to you first, Ms. Goosby. What have been your greatest political achievements to date? And what was your election to an additional term? What would it mean in terms of further improvements on those achievements, or further achievements?
Well, I just continue to work. And I don't mind it because most of the people there, anything I ask them to do, they will do it for me, fortunately. And that's why they've given me the position that I have and why I'm still in that position. I'm the first one who's ever been in it. And I guess, I don't know, when I leave, they would be the last one, I don't know. But I am working, and I make sure that we do what we have to do. My staff works very hard to make sure that we get things done, and people know to call us, and they do call us. So we'll be okay with that.
Mr. Carelus, perhaps a shorter career, but what have been your greatest political achievements to date?
Political achievements? I can't say that I've had any great political achievement. This is the first time I'm running for any political office. In terms of achievement overall, well, I have 3 wonderful kids, a beautiful wife. I've developed a career in finance for over 2 decades. I served in the Reserve Army Corps of Engineers. I'm a volunteer firefighter with the West Hempstead Fire Department. I mean, there's many things that I've done outside of the political sphere, and what drove me to do all those things and accomplish all those things is also what's going to drive me to, provide the needed services, attention, and, just overall responsiveness to the constituency that's needed. That's really it. So because I've not had a political career, I rely on what I have accomplished in the private sector to highlight what I will be able to do as a public servant.
Thank you. Now, I have one more question prepared here, but is anyone in the room interested in posing a question? If not, then I'll move to our final question, and then we can do closing statements. How's that? All right, so the final question is, and it's if you had unlimited funds, this is a fantasy question. If you had unlimited funds, what 3 issues would you address? Where would you put that money? And Mr. Carelus, that question comes to you first.
Unlimited funds, wow. So unlimited funds to me, there's, the first place would be investment in infrastructure, because with the proper maintenance, upgrade of our water infrastructure, our road infrastructure, our sewer infrastructure, we can alleviate so many of the issues that the town of Hempstead has. For example, with storm surge, we know that when nor'easters come, we're always in a rush to make sure that the storm drains are clean. Well, if we can find a way to maintain those systems at a much higher level, it alleviates much of the concern that we have with nor'easters when they come. The next item I would be concerned with is education, because our kids, you can't have economic development without the infrastructure, and you can't have economic development without education. So those 2 are big. Lastly, public safety. Economic development cannot sustain without education, infrastructure investment, and public safety, unless people feel that they are safe to go out at night to frequent restaurants to enjoy the amenities of the town. It's all for naught. So that's where those 3 areas, those are the places I would spend my unlimited wealth.
Thank you. Ms. Goosby, your turn.
My turn.
Your top
Okay.
3.
I'm my top, okay. My thing is this, I would love to see people get taken care of properly. I would love to have them do what they do. We do some of the things that try to help our residents. We make up different areas. My staff can make up nice things, and we take those to the home, many to the schools. And we talk to the kids come to us. And we also, we have things at the town hall that we do for the kids. And a lot of things that we think about, we do for them. And it's really worked out very well for us. We have children that come in and they're real great dancers. We have programs totally for them, so they can do that. And we do that a lot for our seniors too. We have programs that no one else has ever had like we do. And when they come down to the beach, we have the beach, we take them by car from wherever they are in the building. And they enjoy that, and we have a lot of things. They can dance like crazy. They have a great time there. We also have a special pool just for them. We have if you ever have the opportunity, I would love to see you. If you come to me, I will take you so you can get an opportunity to see what we do for our residents. And these are seniors who really don't have anything else to do. They live in the senior homes as they do now, and they enjoy it. But it's something that they can truly enjoy, and it's wonderful for them, and they don't have to pay for it. Okay, so that's one of the things we don't have to worry about. And as far as, talking about other people paying, we have about 5 different areas that work with us, you know, for the residents in that place. So it doesn't have, you know, take us to the point that we don't do. We do a lot of things for them.
Okay, thank you. So, with that, I think we have concluded the question and answer portion of our program. And we're ready to move on to closing statements. And since Mr. Carelus went first for the opening statement, Ms. Goosby will go first for the closing statement, and then I'll make some remarks.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for having the opportunity and have the time to come down and talk to us. It's been interesting, and it's something that we really need, and I think it's great. You came from Albany, and somebody else came from, you told me you came from
Port
Washington.
Washington.
But the thing is, you know, and you're doing things that's really great, and I'd like to listen because, first of all, I know what's going on in that area. I know how well it's going. I know what people are doing, and they are very good when it comes to us, when it comes to asking for what we need, you know, from the organization. They help us, and I can call anyone there who works for us in different areas, and they'll come and take care of what our needs are. We take care of our residents, the ones who lose, you know, somebody in the family. We also make sure that we give out something nice for the family so that they can have that to help them, you know, along. We have a lot of people that I think we have about 5 people coming in tomorrow in one of our areas. So we do a lot of that, and we gotta do something to keep them happy. So we do very well with that. We have a lot of residents who are also really seniors, you know. We have people that are in the 80s and the 90s, and, you know, some 100 years old, the one that I was with this past Sunday. We have some 100 that are even older than that, and we take care of them. We have a good area in our town for taking care of all our residents. They love it.
Thank you. Mr. Carelus, your closing statement, please.
I just want to thank the League of Women Voters for inviting me to this candidate forum. Thank all of you for participating in this. My final takeaway for all of you is that, you know what, I'm running in this race to deliver good government to District 1. And good government to me is one that listens, acts, and delivers real results for real people. That's my takeaway. I want to make sure that wherever the constituents have a concern, that it's heard. And not just heard, but it's addressed in the most meaningful way possible. We have many issues, the biggest of which to me is the fact that District 1 does not receive its fair share of infrastructure investment and services, as I started off. Those are the areas that I wish to address with my position as councilman. And with your vote come November, we can start to make much greater progress in District 1. Thank you.
So, we've now concluded just about, let me just say that running for office is not for wimps. It's an important public service, and you're both to be complimented and commended for taking on that challenge. So if we had a larger crowd, I would ask for a bigger round of applause, but you have not. And the other thing I will say is please don't forget to vote. Early voting opens on October 25th. Election day is November 4th, and you can probably get the most current and accurate information on voting locations and anything else you might need to know on the Nassau County Board of Education website, Board of Elections website, sorry. It's a neat word, it gets confusing. Anyway, Board of Election website. And I believe, Ann, you told me that there are voter registration forms here, should anyone in the room need one. So, again, thank you.
You're welcome.